have less time than that to get through our Teammate Talks episode. But like always, make sure to give me your comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know any other topics you would like us to cover, anything related to parenting or martial arts or character development or psychology or physiology or what's the other one I'm thinking of? Philosophy, anything along those lines. Let me know what you'd like me to cover. I'm more than happy to do it. Now, our word of the week this past week that we've been going over with kids and everybody in all of our classes is my favorite and in my opinion, the absolutely most important one that we can work on, and that is integrity. I like to describe integrity as the opposite of hypocrisy, okay? And the thing about it is I like to talk about these character traits and stuff like that. And the reason is because when you live in a world that appears to be ruled by arrogance and corruption and just downright meanness, it can be very difficult to hold on to your personal principles as you go through it. But there are no times that it's more important to hold on to your principles than during the hard times, the times that it is difficult to hold on to those principles. So let's get into it with integrity. Now, if I'm talking to my little kids class, my 4 to 6-year-olds, my 7 and 8-year-olds, I give different examples, but I start off talking about how integrity is about keeping your word. Because integrity is all about trust, right? And staying true to yourself, staying true to your principles and things like that. And that all starts with learning how to keep your word. Learning how to, if you say you're going to do something, do it. If you say you believe in something, then make decisions as if you actually believe in that thing and it is very, very important to you. To me, that's what integrity is all about. So with kids, we talk about keeping their word. If you say you're going to do the dishes, that kind of thing, right? And then it builds into staying true to yourself or to your own principles. And this is where hypocrisy starts to creep in, which is the opposite of integrity. I want you to keep that in mind. So let's talk about, instead of talking about adults first, I'm going to go ahead and talk about older kids first. I'm going to talk about older kids before I get into adults. Hey, what's up, Timothy? Appreciate you joining us out live on YouTube. Glad you're here. I have to keep my episode short today, so I'm going to keep it real short. But we are talking about integrity. Starts with keeping your word. Now, with the older kids, I like to move up to saying, okay, now, if there's something that you believe in, it's important to make decisions that reflect those beliefs. So what I mean by that, I'm not getting anything too crazy here. What I mean by that is I like to ask my classes, hey, raise your hand if you've ever been bullied or picked on or really physically by mean people or whatever. You've been bullied, right? Hands go up, yeah? And then if I ask, how does that make you feel? Then it's always, well, I felt bad, I felt sad, I got angry, I got frustrated, it doesn't make me feel good, it's this, that, and the other. And then I ask them, do you really want to be the person to make someone else feel that way? Well, no, I wouldn't want anyone to feel that way. I didn't like feeling that way. Okay, great. Then why is it that I watch some of these same kids who say they've been bullied, say they can't stand it, say it hurts their feelings, say they would never want anyone to be that mean, that then turn around and I will personally catch them picking on or bullying somebody else. And then when I call them out and I say, hey, you told me that you believe the world would be a better place if people were less mean and less of a bully, and you didn't want anyone to feel the way you made to feel, so why are you doing this to somebody else? And I always get the same 3 or 4 excuses. But they're weird, but they're annoying, but they're bothering me, right? And it's like, okay, I get that, but the person who bullied you in the first place probably thought the same thing about you. They're weird, they're annoying, they bother me. And they're using it as an excuse to bully you, and you think that's wrong, but then you use it as an excuse to bully others, and all of a sudden, that's not wrong anymore? What's up, Miguel? I can't pronounce it. Miguel in Ada. Oh my gosh, man, I'm sorry. I'm butchering your name there. Appreciate you being here. That's all I'm going to say over here on YouTube. So yeah, so this is how I approach it with the older kids. I talk about bullying. I say, how does that make you feel? Of course, you don't like it. So would you want to make anyone else feel that way? No. All right. Then I'd better not ever catch you bullying somebody else and using the excuse, but they're weird or they're annoying or I don't like them. Because they can be weird and they can be annoying and you don't have to like them. No one says you do, but that doesn't mean you have to be a complete... Sorry, I had to censor myself. That doesn't mean you have to be a jerk. Thank you. I have much stronger words in my head. That doesn't mean you have to turn around and be a jerk to them. You could just let them be weird. You could just let them be annoying off on their own with their own friends and whatnot and stuff like that. Now, if they really are annoying you specifically and doing it to get a rise out of you, it's important to set a boundary in that case. But setting a boundary is different from bullying and being mean. Setting a boundary is drawing a line in the sand. Dude, leave me alone. Honestly, you annoy me. I have trouble being around you. If you keep acting like this around me, we're going to have problems, and neither one of us are going to have fun because of it, because we're going to get mad at each other and this, that, and the other. So I think it's agreeable that we should both just avoid each other, right? That's setting a boundary, right? So that's how I describe or talk about integrity with older kids. But adults are the worst. Adults are the absolute worst at saying they believe in something, or that they believe something shouldn't happen or something should happen, and then turning around and doing the exact thing they say shouldn't happen, right? Adults are the absolute worst about this. My adult classes are the worst about this. So when I'm talking to adults, I don't usually use the bullying concept, but guys, the same rule applies, right? So I might not talk about bullying. I might say, do you like it if someone treats you in this particular way, or if someone does this or does that, then maybe you shouldn't do that to other people unless they ask you to, right? Now, when I get into the adult classes, though, I like to add on to this discussion about integrity. I like to add on something you guys have probably all heard before, but honestly, if you just learn to take this to heart, it will change your life. It will absolutely change your life. It did mine when I took it to heart. And it relates to integrity. Be what you want to see. Just that simple. Be what you want to see. So, if you look around in the world and you say, this world doesn't have enough compassion. People are complete jerks to each other. They don't pay attention to each other. They don't socialize anymore. There's no compassion in the world. Okay. Now go out there, and every time you go out in public, every decision you make should go through that filter. Am I displaying that compassion that I feel like needs to be out in the world? And start making decisions. If you believe the world would be better if people were more compassionate, then go out in public and make decisions to show and be that compassion that you want to see in the world, because you will inspire far more people by doing it than you will ever inspire by saying it. And this is coming from a teacher who does character development and things like that. I'll say it one more time. You will inspire far more people by doing it than you will by saying it, by living it, right? So if compassion's your thing, right? Okay, the world would be a better place. There's more compassion out there. I wish people would be more social. Okay, go out there and say hi to 3 people you see. Smile and wave at 3 strangers. Say, oh, hey, hi. Just that simple. Just acknowledge people, right? If you want to see that. If you want to see more compassion in the world, or things like that, then open doors for people. Carry bags for people. I did this yesterday, and I guess I came across as a creep the way this person looked at me. It was kind of weird. Can't remember where I was standing. I was waiting somewhere on something. I was just inside of a business, and I was waiting somewhere. And this lady walks past me, and her arm absolutely full. Like, she is just clutching all this. I think we were at Walmart. No, one Walmart. Where were we? Can't remember now. But her arms are full, and she's just clutching stuff and this, that, and the other. And she notices me looking at her, and I was like, I asked, I was like, do you need some help? Hey, let me help. And I started to walk towards her, and she got really defensive. Now, I understand her position. I'm a man. Here's something you need to understand about walking around the world as a man. Nobody trusts you. Nobody trusts you, and for good reason. Everyone looks at you like you might be someone they have to defend themselves from. That's what it's like to be a teenage boy or man in this world. But you have to understand that they have good reason for that. And it's because we, the good men, have let too many men get away with their BS for so long that people have to be cautious around all men, because they don't know who's going to treat them like crap, who's going to harass them, and who's not, right? So I do not blame her. I do not blame this woman one bit for being a little like, oh, no, I'm good. But then as soon as I recognized, oh, I probably come across as one of those creeps, I realized the mistake I made. I never should have offered to help. What I should have done is just step forward and open the door. I should have just went around her, oh, let me help with that, open the door, and let her go on her way, right? That's what I should have did. And so if you want to see more compassion in the world, then go out there and make decisions that show compassion to people. Open doors for people. Walk up, don't offer, just walk up and be like, hey, I can help carry that for you, you know. Apologize when you're moving out of, oh, sorry, I'm in your way. Pardon has been my big one. Like, oh, pardon me. Oop, I'm from the Midwest, so oop, that's part of it, right? Oh, my bad, pardon me, right? So that's one. Another one is normalize asking people how they feel. Oh, how you doing lately? Oh, fine, just another day. Oh, you know, I'm alive. You know, that you're never, that doesn't show compassion. Instead of asking how you're doing, change your phrasing and ask, hey, how are you feeling? Oh, I'm okay. Oh, well, you know, I it looked like you're having a rough day. It looked like something hadn't been going your way. You know, you look a little down. I just wanted to make sure you were okay, right? Doesn't that mean a lot more than someone asking, how you doing? What's up? Right? Say, how you feeling? You seem a little down. I just want to make sure you're doing all right. And a lot of times people will perk right up. Oh, yeah, no, I was just lost in thought. I was thinking about something. Oh, okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to intrude. I just wanted to make sure you were okay, right? So start making decisions and changing things in a way to be more compassionate. Now, it doesn't have to be about compassion. Maybe you believe the world would be a better place if people showed more discipline, perseverance, and grit. And go out there and show people what that looks like. Go out there and show them what discipline, grit, and perseverance look like. Go out there and try your best even if you fail. Smile when you fail. Don't get upset with yourself and turn around and try again, because that's real grit and determination and discipline, right? It's okay to fail. You can laugh off the failure and just try again and just try again and let it go. Show people. Go out there and act in that way. It's like with my instructors. When I'm teaching my instructors, and I tell my students this too, never, ever ask a student to do something that you are not willing to demonstrate, even if you're not good at it. Even if your demonstration is not going to be that good. Never, ever ask somebody to do something that you aren't first willing to get out there and try to do yourself, even if it's not great. Thanks, Tobias. I appreciate that first like. Thank you, man. Thank you. So I tell my instructors, it's like, okay, some of us are getting up in age. I'm starting to get up in age. My kicks ain't what they used to be. My round kicks, I can barely reach your head now. Like, I struggle with that kind of thing. So if I'm doing a drill, I'm not going to do what most people do in my position as a martial arts instructor. I'll just have the students demonstrate it and I won't do anything at all. I do that some, but most of what I do is I'll tell people, look, guys, I'm not as good as this as I used to be. I don't train it as much as I should. But I'm still going to demonstrate it for you, because I have found nothing is more powerful when you're trying to teach someone something. Nothing is more powerful than letting them see you fail. Nothing is more powerful than letting them see you mess it up, because it lets them know that it's okay to not get it right the first time or the 50th time or the 100th time or even the 1,000th time. That it is okay to make mistakes and mess up. All you got to do is go, that wasn't very good. Let me try that again. That was a little better. I can do better. Let me try again. And if you demonstrate that to the students you would be teaching, those students are going to be far more likely to do whatever you ask of them, because they know darn well that you'll get in there and do it with them. And they know darn well that it's okay if they fail, because they've watched you fail. So they know it's okay, and that failing is going to help them improve. So integrity, back to integrity. Staying true to one's principles. And I understand that this can feel difficult in a world that feels like it's full of nothing but arrogance and corruption and bullying and closed-mindedness and all of this nonsense. That's when it's really hard to stick to your principles. But that's when it's also the most important to stick to your principles. The most important, right? So integrity starts with keeping your word. If you're going to say you're going to do something, do it. It continues with living true to your principles. If you tell people bullying is wrong, then go out there and make decisions that show that you think bullying is wrong. Stand up for people being bullied and refuse to be the person that picks on somebody else, no matter how much they annoy you or no matter how much you don't like them or no matter how much they're bullying you. Now, I always tell my kids, witty comebacks will take you a long way. And I'll sit down and work with some of my kids one-on-one on witty comebacks. Right? Because sometimes that's a big part. So I only say this to say I understand that this topic is much bigger than the 20 minutes I have to talk on it. I'm kind of putting it down into a few small pieces, if that makes sense. So I just want to let you guys know why I'm doing with the examples I'm giving. So integrity, keep your word, stay true to your principles, and then go out there and be what it is you want to see, right? Think courtesy is important, and go out there and make decisions to be courteous. You think discipline is important? Go out there and display that for other people. Not through your words, not through posting a video of you saying, I work out every day. Nah, how about you post some videos of you all sweaty, doing the workout, struggling, failing? Because yes, failing is important if you're going to show discipline. It's also important to know how to fail, right? Okay, so integrity, living true to principles. It doesn't matter what those principles are. I'm not here to tell you what your favorite principles should be. I'm here to tell you that if you believe strongly in something, go out there and be the example of that thing. Go out there and demonstrate it in your words. Go out there and demonstrate it in your actions, okay? Be the thing you want to see more of in the world. And of course, the opposite of integrity is hypocrisy. So if you turn around and tell people that bullying is wrong, and then I turn around and see you picking on somebody else, and I say, hey man, what are you picking on them for? And you say, well, they were annoying me, they were bothering me. Okay, well then tell them they were annoying you and tell them they were bothering you. There's no reason to make fun of their looks, or to make fun of their home life, or to make fun of their friend group or whatever. Just be direct. It's okay to be, by the way, being direct is not being impolite. You guys realize that, right? Like, directness does not mean impoliteness, but you can use directness as a way to be impolite. It is possible to use directness as a way to be impolite. Don't do that. But it is okay to tell somebody, hey, this thing you're doing is really annoying me right now. Would you mind doing it over there? Would you mind if I walked away while you're doing that? Because it's annoying me and I don't want to go off on you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to crash out on this, right? That's being direct, and that's okay. There's nothing impolite about that. But if I say, well, this thing you're doing is annoying and you suck, and I'm going to punch you in the face if you don't stop doing this annoying thing. Now I'm using directness as a way to be mean, and that's just not right, man. It's just not right. And here's the other thing I like to talk about when it comes to integrity. How much would you enjoy the world if every single person in the world looked like you, thought like you, had the same experiences you had, has the same opinions you have, has the same perspective you have, likes all the same things you like, dislikes all the same things you don't like, and everyone in the world was like that? Fact of the matter is you would get so annoyed with yourself in so little time, and you would feel like you were trapped in a cage of, well, why does everybody only care about this one thing? Now, understand that it is our differences, the differences between me and you, are what make us interesting to each other. The fact that I grew up, I started my adult life as a homeless 16-year-old might make my story interesting to you because maybe you didn't experience that. You having great Christmases and awesome family gatherings as a kid might be interesting to me because I don't know what that's like. So I might like to hear that story because that's interesting to me. You might like platforming video games or retro video games, and that might be interesting to me if I don't. Or in this case, I do like those, but see my point. But someone who's into retro games might find it interesting when someone else starts talking passionately about a new game that they like to play or something they really enjoy. It's us sharing our differences is what makes conversations interesting and engaging. So stop harassing people for their differences. Start celebrating people for their differences, because that is what makes them interesting. Okay? And so integrity is all about staying true to one's principles. I get that. But you also have to understand that other people's principles are going to be different than your own. They're going to be different. There is no one set. I'd love to tell you that we can all go take a morals class and then have 10 morals given to us that we should all follow, and we're all going to agree on that. But that's not reality. We all grow up with different experiences, different home lives, different schools, different educations, different everything, right? And so we're never going to be able to agree, even on the topic of character, morals, ethics, or principles. We're never going to all agree on that, right? But I think we can all agree on integrity. I think we can all agree on the importance of staying true to those principles. I think we can agree on that, right? That it's important that if you don't like bullying and you think bullying is wrong, that you don't turn around and do that to other people under the excuse, but they're annoying. That if you feel like there needs to be more compassion in the world, that you go out there and actually show compassion to people, right? That is important. I feel like that is important. And when you're a person of integrity, people around you, whether they like you or don't like you, learn that they can trust you. And trust is a valuable commodity. Trust, I would argue, is more valuable than money. Because what do rich people crave in their relationships with the people around them? Trust. They crave trust. They crave people that are going to have their back, that aren't going to betray them. Yeah? Trust. And let me ask you this. What can you do with somebody when they trust you? What can you do for that person when they trust you? I'll answer it for you. You can influence them. You can influence people that trust you. When people trust you, they will believe in you, and you will be able to influence them about things. Now, here's why I say trust is more valuable than a dollar or than money, than wealth. Because what are the most powerful forces in the world? And yes, money gets used to do this, but what are the most powerful forces in the world? You can use money to do it, but it's not money itself. It's influence. Influence is power. Read about cults. Shoot, just look around. Look around. Today's world, any country, anywhere, including here, look around. Watch the people that trust a certain person. You'll notice that they'll defend that person no matter what. No matter what. Even if that person does something horrible. If the people trust that person, they will not trust that that person did that horrible thing, and they will defend them. Meaning that that person they trust holds power and influence over them. And the most powerful force in the world is influence. And money can buy you influence, but trust earns you influence. Does that make sense? So we have to learn how to be less trusting of people we don't know just because they were on TV, and how to be more trustworthy ourselves, because the more people that trust us, the more people we can influence. And if you want to have a positive impact on the world, it's done through influence. Wealth can help, but it's easier to build wealth when you have influence, right? So it's all about influence. So if you want to be able to be a positive impact in people's lives, then you have to learn how to live with integrity. You have to learn how to gain trust. This is what me and my instructors do for a living. Do you think we expect every kid, every student, every parent, every adult, every anybody to walk in here and trust us? Of course not, because I would say if they walked in and trusted us immediately, that we need to teach them how to question things. Questioning things is important. It is. Critical thinking is important. So if someone comes in here on their first day and they're like, I trust you, I'm like, you can trust me, and I am trustworthy, but I don't recommend trusting someone you know as little as me. I recommend having far more interactions with me before you actually decide if you feel like I'm trustworthy or not, if I've earned that from you or not, right? So that's one thing. I know that's a little bit sidestep to what we were just talking about, but that's one thing. Now, doing what we do is when students come in for that first week, that first month, that first few months, is we build that trust with you. We build that trust with them. Because when they trust us, they're going to be more likely to want to listen to us open-mindedly when we talk about things and when we discuss how to punch properly, or discuss integrity, or discuss why or when or how to use that sweep or that kick catch or whatever, right? But we understand that we have to earn that trust from our students first. And we earn that trust through our integrity, through staying true to ourselves by being exactly who we say we are and saying exactly what we mean, right? That's what gives us that integrity, allows us to build trust with our students. And after about 3 months, usually about 3 months, we've earned that trust. And now we can influence that student in a positive way. And yes, I use the word influence because you guys need to understand that influence and manipulation are almost the same thing. They look identical to each other. They use the same principles. Influence is when I do this for your benefit. Manipulation is when I do it for mine. But I'm not doing this talk for my benefit. I'm doing this for your benefit. Okay? And I do that with my students too. And so once you trust me, then maybe I can influence you. And I cannot tell you how many people I've had catch me at Walmart, catch me somewhere out in town who I don't even recognize because they're like 20 now, who are like, hey, I had you as a martial arts teacher when I was 8. And I want you to know that some of the stuff you said stayed with me and it changed my life. And now I'm doing better for myself. I did fall off the wagon. I had a rough teenage years, but now I'm doing better for myself because I remember the lessons you taught. I remember what you used to say and what was important to you. And all of my students, I tell them, I'm not going to tell you what morals to have, what ethics to have, what to believe in. I ain't going to tell you none of that. What I am going to do is ask you questions so that you can figure that out for yourself. So one of my questions to ask you, what values and principles do you value most, so that you can figure out how to start on your integrity, is I will ask you, what do you value most in your friends? Do you value their loyalty? Do you value their trustworthiness? Do you value their honesty? Do you value their compassion? Do you value their courtesy? Do you value their confidence? Do you value their perseverance? What do you value in the people around you? And if you find that you value something in a person around you, then that thing might be a principle that's important to you. And then you have to ask yourself, is that principle important to me? Well, I do respect it when I see it in other people. Okay. So now to have integrity, you've established that this is a principle that you believe in, and it's a principle that you admire in others. So integrity would now say to live by that principle, to go out there and make decisions based on that principle. And now I have party people coming in, so I am going to have to jump off my teammate talks today. Appreciate you guys taking time to let me get on my soapbox. Thank you for all the comments. Tobias, appreciate you. Timothy, appreciate you. Miguel, or Miguel, I don't know. Appreciate you being there. And you guys can catch this episode when it releases on Tuesday. I usually release it by searching hashtag Teammate Talks anywhere you get your podcast. And then on top of that, join me next week, well, maybe next week, for our next live discussion, which, as I said, was supposed to be this week's topic, which is going to be about people going through things that you may not realize what they're going through, and how to see those signs in people and check on and look out for the people around you who may be struggling silently because they don't want to bother you with it. That's what our next topic is going to be. It might be next week, but understand that I got news about an hour ago about a death in the family. There might be a funeral for me next week. So, not my funeral, but you get what I'm saying. There might be a funeral next week for me to attend. If that's the case, I will not be doing a Teammate Talk next week. But expect to see me next week. And if not next week, the Saturday after. You can always catch my live videos somewhere between 4 and 5 o'clock every Saturday afternoon. Until I see you guys again, be the best teammate you can be. And be the best at being you.